What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to create a post on Ecotenet. So let's get into it here. Once you've signed into your account, you can go ahead and click on this button here to create a post, and that'll take you into the post editor in your dashboard. And there are three basic steps that you have to fill out to create a post. You got your post details, which pretty simple: title, description, category, keywords. You've got your post body, which is where you'll add your text, images, videos, all of that good stuff. And then you have this map where you'll select which ecoregions your post applies to. And I'm going to go over each of these steps in more detail here. So the first step is pretty simple here. As an example, I'm going to create a post on how to make an herbal tea, because I think that'll be pretty straightforward. So for the title, I could put something like herbal tea cough remedy. And then for a description, I could put something like basic recipe and instructions on how to make an herbal infusion to cure coughs. Just something to give people a little more detail about what will be in the post. Your category is going to be the same categories that are in the ecoregion filter, just so that people can kind of find the post that they're looking for based on topics. So for us, that will be medicinal. And if you're unsure of which category to pick, you can go down here and click on this little icon here and click on category. And that will give you a category breakdown that just tells you a little bit more about what type of posts will go into what categories. So back over here in keywords, you don't have to add keywords, but this can help with search functionality and stuff like that. So for us, we could do something like maybe one of our ingredients or something. So we could say colt's foot. Or, we could say something like herbal infusions or something like that. So if people were looking for something more specific, they could search by these keywords and your article would come up. So let's move on to the next step here, and that is the post body. And this is where not only all of the content of your post will go, but you'll also be able to decide the layout of your post, which is pretty cool, I think. Quick shout out to the people who made this editor. It's called React Page. I think it's pretty awesome, so shout out to them. But let's say we want to add some text here. Click on this, or we can click Add Blocks. This gives us a bunch of options here. We can do text area, upload an image, a video, spacer, divider, and I'll show you examples of all of these. But let's just say we want to start with some text. So we'll add our little text area here, and we have this little interface that pops up. And so let's say I'm going to add some, just some filler text here to show you how this works. So here's some fake text for us, and we can do all different sorts of things with this text. We can change the size, we can change the positioning of the text, we could add links, we could do block text, all different sorts of stuff. If you highlight or click on some text, you have more options here for italics or bold or underline, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty straightforward, I think. Pretty cool. All the basic things you need to do with your text, I think you can do here. So let's say that we also wanted to add an image. Go over here, add a block, select an image, and now you have the options of either uploading an image from your computer, device, whatever, or if you have an existing URL, you can just put the link in here. But say we click this upload image, and we upload this image here, which is just a little picture I've taken. You have a few options for different things you can do with your image. You can change the width of it if you want, so we can make it any size that we like. can see here. But we'll keep it at the default size for now. So then we have this details tab here where you can add a caption if you want, something, if you want to explain your image a little more. Citation, so we could do photo courtesy of Muskrat. And then your alternative description, that's for, say, either for some reason your image doesn't load, it'll say what that image should be, or it'll tell people what the image is if they use screen readers or any type of assistive technologies like that. So we will put flowering dogwood as a description of what this photo is. And so once you've done that, you can save your image if you like it, or delete it if you end up not wanting to use it and you want to use some other photo. And this little outline here is just a reminder that your photo has not been saved yet. So we'll go ahead and save this image here. And there we go. Our image has been saved. And you can see our citation there. So, pretty cool. We've got text, we've got photos. Let's add a video also, just for fun. Click on our video link here. Type in the URL of your video. Let's see here. And now we've got video. That's just ready to go for us. Simple as that. Let's see. Let's say you wanted to just add some styling, a little divider between sections here. You can add a divider. It's just this little white line that breaks up your content a little bit. And then I will add, let's see, I will add a spacer, and we'll get back to that a little bit later here, but you can adjust the size of your spacer here, or you can click on it and drag it up and down, and that just lets you play around with your layouts a little bit. I'm going to add one more quick text area here just to show you something. So let's say for our herbal tea, we want a list of ingredients and just some steps for the process. So we type ingredients and then click on this little guy and do just a little list of ingredients. So we'll do colt's foot, lobelia, and echinacea. Very simple tea. And then let's say for our steps, we will do another text area just to split it up so we can play with the layout a little more here. And we will do instructions and some steps here. We'll just do step 1, step 2, step 3. Very simple. And maybe, let's see, we'll change this a little bit, change this a little bit. Maybe we want this bolded and underlined, and maybe a little bigger, something like that. And we can do the same thing to this guy. Do a 3, bold, underline. Cool, looks pretty good. So now let's play around with the layouts a little bit here. I'll also go over all of these buttons. So this is just your editing mode, so you can click on all of these and the little interface comes up and you can make the changes you need to make. This we've gone over to add blocks. This is to move blocks, so once we click on this here, you can either click on these arrows here to move these around, or you can click and drag them. So let's say I actually want these two to be right next to each other. So I can just click on this guy, and then you'll see this little black line shows up here, so we can put this over here. And now your texts are right next to each other. And you can do that with all of these. So let's say we want to move our divider. Let's move our divider up. And let's move it up a little more. between our text and our image. Cool, so we can move all of our blocks around. We can also hit this preview page, which removes all of the kind of interface stuff and shows you exactly how it'll show up once it's published. So that's pretty cool. And then you can go back into your editing mode, or moving them, or resizing them. So to resize things, say you have things right next to each other, and maybe you want a little more separation, so we can change the size of these blocks here. And so, yeah, maybe we want something like that. But then maybe we also want to move this one over to the left, and that's where we can use our spacer here. So we'll move our spacer to the left of this guy, and then maybe we'll resize these a little bit. And let's do something like this. Cool, so now they look a little more centered, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Just as an example, maybe we want to move this photo up next to this text here, so we'll just drag it over here and preview this a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think it's a pretty good example of all the things you can do and play around with. Another cool thing is you might want to check and make sure that this layout looks good on a mobile device also. And this will automatically do that if you just change the size of your browser here, and you can see things kind of moved accordingly so that everything will look nice on mobile as well, which is pretty awesome. You don't have to worry about that at all. Yeah, that is the post body editor, which is pretty awesome. You can create all kinds of different layouts, which is pretty cool, I think. Yeah, let's move on to the next step. And the next and final step is selecting the ecoregions that apply to your post. So if we go down to the map here, maybe you just know the ecoregions that your post applies to, or maybe it's not directly tied to any species or anything. So you can just double click on the map and select the ecoregions that you want. Maybe it's just one, maybe it's a few different ones. And then you're good to go, and your post will be linked to all of these ecoregions. But maybe you're not sure which ecoregions it applies to, or maybe it is very much related to a specific species, like it will be in our case. So if we type in some ingredients here for our tea, select coltsfoot here, and now we can see the full distribution of coltsfoot. And so if we were just doing a post on coltsfoot, we could select all of these different ecoregions, but we're going to add a couple more ingredients. So let's say we want some lobelia here. Okay, now we've got two distributions on our map. Looks like this is our only overlap here. So you can see we've got coltsfoot in this color here, this purplish color, and then our lobelia in this yellow. And then this mixed orangish colors is where they both overlap. So if we were just doing these two, then we just select these ecoregions here. But let's add one more. Let's add some echinacea. Okay, now we've got some more colors going on here. Got our echinacea is now in this color, and some different overlaps here. But where they all overlap is in these ecoregions right here. So we can say that our tea with these three ingredients applies to these ecoregions. And so if someone wants to grow all the ingredients to make this tea, or they want to say, hey, I want to go out and be able to find all of these ingredients where I live so I can make this tea, these are the regions that that would apply to. So we can go ahead and select all of these for our post. And got a nice little area here. And one more there. Okay. Then let's say we'll clear these guys off. Now we have the ecoregions that our post applies to. And let's say we wanted to add one more ingredient just for fun. Currently you can only do 3 distributions on the map at a time, because if you do more, the colors just get a little bit overwhelming. But so what you can do is you've selected all of your ecoregions that you know applies to all three species. And then if we add one more, let's see, we want to add some slippery elm. Okay, we can see our distribution and slippery elm's distribution, and they're pretty much the same. But we can see this ecoregion right here does not apply to slippery elm. So if we were going to add that to our ingredients, we could take that one out. And then we would say, okay, now our post just applies to these ecoregions. And you can kind of keep doing that more and more and expanding or decreasing your range of ecoregions based on your species. But we'll just leave it there. Say these are the ecoregions that our post applies to. And yeah, now we're good to go. So now we're ready to publish our post if we want to. If we're not ready to publish it, we can just hit save here and it'll be saved to our drafts and our dashboard, and we can come back and update things or change things until we're ready to publish it. But if we're ready to publish, we can hit this button here. If we had not filled out all the required fields in this editor and all of these steps here, this button would be disabled. But since we've filled all of those out, we could publish it. We can also always come back and update things even after it's been published. So if for some reason someone comments on our thing or we get some new information that tells us, oh, maybe this applies to more ecoregions or less ecoregions, or we wanted to change some of the content in our body, we could do that. And then you can just come back and update and republish. And then upon approval, your post will be made public on the site. I think that covers everything on how to create a post. So I hope you all come and create some amazing things and share some amazing knowledge. And thanks for watching.